Hi everyone. So I'm here with my friend and author Tanushka Bhatnagar, and she's here to visit me. So I thought we'll make a YouTube video of Q&A questions about um, a few things. So she's a self-published author, and she's published her book in the US, but now she lives in India. So I wanted to ask her about how the self-publishing process is, and if anybody in India wants to self-publish, how does it work, and all of those questions. Because I've seen a lot of people trying to publish their books, and I think we should get knowledge or get questions answered from somebody who's done it. So I hope this is helpful. So the first question is, how does it feel to have your book out in the world? Two books, by the way. Will one she's written and one she's going to publish really soon from India. So
It feels good. It feels scary because now people, including my mom, is gonna read this. My people who know me are gonna read this, and I don't want them to read it. But it feels good for the most part because I've put in so much time and effort into this, and not everyone's gonna like it, but
yeah,
someone will, and that's all that matters.
I know I will because she's taken a lot of inspiration from me. I feel like her character's favorite color is my favorite color. The way she talks is also like just you can just say it. Holly's
Yeah,
inspired by me actually. Only reason is that she doesn't have like black red hair and she has blonde hair, but she had to change something. Otherwise, it would be too obvious for us.
yeah.
But anyway, the next question that I have is, how was your writing process like? How much time did it take for you to finish a book? Give us a timeline for both the publicity stunt and the night shift.
Publicity stunt took me like I wrote it during mostly during the pandemic, so I had more free time. So it took me 2 months to write the whole thing just because I had a lot of free time. And then editing and everything else took me one whole month. So 3 months. Night shift took me like 6, 7 months, I feel like.
To
And
write.
yeah, and it's still not edited. So I'm just gonna say a year for night shift.
Okay.
Oh, but night shift is a thriller, so it needs more. I have to think about everything. And publicity stunt was a romance, so I was just vibing and writing. No planning went into it. In a good way.
In a good way. It's a good book, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So, since we haven't talked about her book is a thriller, but it's a romance
Yeah,
thriller.
like a romantic suspense, I
Yeah, and the female main character, is a serial killer, and the male main character is a stalker, her stalker. So, make what you will of it. But we'll move on to the next question, which is, how did you figure out how to self-publish your book? Like, what research went into it, and was it easy to self-publish it?
guess. I just googled it. Googled it. Um, YouTube. There are a lot of YouTube videos on self-publishing. Okay. No, the better one. Sorry.
This is such a bad friend, but let's go on.
Honest.
Honest friend, yeah.
But yeah, just googling and YouTube videos. Yeah,
That's
that's
all.
all.
The next question is basically how much did it cost for you to self-publish, and would it change now that you live in India, and how much did you pay or anything in the US if it did cost anything?
So I self-published through Amazon, which is free. So you don't have to pay anything. You just have to upload your book and hit publish, and that's it. They print it for you free. Everything is free. The only cost, like the only thing I paid for was the editing, and yeah, that's it. And whatever character art I needed. The cover also I designed on my own. But yeah, that was it.
But the next question is, how did you finalize the cover and everything else for your book? So she'll tell you about the apps that she used, I didn't use, or how she went on about the covers and everything.
So this app called Procreate. I think that's what it's called. And yeah, I just searched for stuff on Pinterest and sort of get into that app and kind of try copying what that looks like for the characters because I can't draw human people. They will not look like people otherwise. I have to sort of copy it from somewhere. But the color and everything, I don't know. I just w- thought like red would look nice for this and that would look nice for the blue would look nice for the other one. So yeah, it was not that hard. I thought it would be hard, but it was actually not that hard. The app has.
Yeah, I think Procreate is like a paid app on Apple. Not really sure, I don't quote me on this, but I do think there are a few free apps for Android users also, which I drew on, which was called, I think, Medibank or something. And that's a good one. A lot of tutorials are available on YouTube, so you can search and practice because I know she practiced and she's really good at it. She's making all her art, all her covers, and they're amazing. We'll move on to the next question, which is as an Indian, how do you get paid for your books if you publish through KDP, and how much the cost differs in the US and India? Now that you've shifted to India, do they convert the money and send it to your bank? How does it work, the basically payment for your book?
So I haven't published the book since I haven't published in India basically, but in the US. So say I list the book for $15. If anybody buys it in the US, I get a certain percentage of those $15 in my bank account. But if anybody buys it outside the US, it gets converted into dollars. So like whoever buys it in rupees, I'll get the dollar amount of that amount. So I guess it'll work the same way in India, I guess. I mean, but so if I list it for $15 in the US, it won't list for 15 what $15 is in rupees. It will list for what the market price for books is in each country. Yeah.
So let's say, for example, your book was $15 in the US, it's 300 or 400
Mhm.
bucks here. So you'll get a percentage of 300 and 400. The percentage that was
That gets
decided.
converted into wherever I have set up my bank account or whatever, wherever I'm getting the money in whatever currency I've chosen.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of it very clear. So choose the price of your book wisely. Next and last question, because this is going to be a small video, very basic video to get started with it, is what other self-publishing platforms do you know of, and do you recommend KDP? And if not, then why?
Okay, so KDP is very easy to use. So if this is like the first time you're publishing a book, then I do recommend KDP. But I won't use KDP going forward just because you can't list your ebook anywhere else if you go through KDP. And then if by chance, suppose somebody steals your book and lists it on, other sites where you can download books for free, and Amazon finds out, you get banned as an author from KDP. So it's just really risky. There are other platforms in India. I know there's Notion Press, which is the same thing. It's free and you can get paperbacks. You can self-publish paperbacks in India. Then in the US, there's also Ingram Spark, which allows you to list your book on Barnes and Noble websites. And KDP doesn't do that. KDP is solely Amazon. So I know these three. And yeah.
Okay, that was fun, but I'll ask you one more question, which is so fun. Um, why did you base Holly on me?
This is gonna be hard for you to hear, but I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for ruining your dream,
That's
but
okay.
I did.
This is the video Q&A is over, but I want to talk about a few more things. Since we see a lot of white dominated spaces in the book publishing industry and things like that, I would really, really highly recommend and urge you guys to support Desi authors or like people of color who write books. She writes books about white characters because she's more comfortable with it. She doesn't want to get it gets too close to her if
Yeah.
it's about brown people. So she writes about white characters, and I know you'll like Holly and Theo for sure. If you
But they
like
have a
mystery,
lot of sorry. I write about white characters, but I put a lot of Bollywood references
yeah. So
on purpose and
on
not tell anyone about it. And if you find it, then you're special.
yeah, so the one way we became friends was how I discovered all the Bollywood references in her first book, which was basically Jana Tu Ya Janana and all these. One movie I forgot the name with Isha Deol and what's his name? The Lucky from Main Hoon Na guy. Okay. But there are a lot of she does put like Indian references and things like that. So it's a lot of fun as an Indian to read those books because you kind of picture those scenes in your head if you're a Bollywood freak like we are. But other than that, I would really urge you guys to read her book. It's really good. It's the first one is like a second chance romance. Okay, explain your
Yeah.
book. Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is a second chance romance. It is not fake dating. The name suggests it is fake dating because it's called the publicity stunt. But I literally named it because she's a publicist and he's a stunt double. And I just found it so funny. So I was like, let's name it publicity stunt. Yeah,
Misleading.
misleading. Clickbait.
Okay.
Yeah. And the second one is,
You did not. They were like best friends to lovers.
oh shit, I forgot about. Yeah, it's Friends to Lovers, Second Chance. Um, time like it goes between the past and present.
Timeline.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the first book, The Publicity Stunt. The second book that she's writing and editing right now.
The Night Shift is about uh the sister in the first book. Her name is April, the first book, and her sister's name is Holly. It's about Holly and Theo, and they're both surgeons and criminals in a way, I guess. It's subjective. But she's a serial killer, he's her stalker, and I really can't say anything else without spoiling it. That's it. That's it.
I'll tell you that much that I read the second book. I read the first book also. I liked it, but it's not my taste personally. It's more Lilo. I'm a
Yeah.
Kubalaway girl. So if you like Lilo, you'll love that book. Like you'll love that book. But if you're more Kubalaway, I would say you're more Holly Theo for sure. Because I am more Holly Theo and I am obsessed with them is an under obsessed is an understatement. Holly Theo's got nothing on my obsession. I could challenge him, and he's also a
Gemini.
Gemini.
I was just saying that.
He's a Gemini,
They're both self-obsessed.
but like we're both hot, so it makes sense for us to be self-obsessed. Does it not?
No comment.
But we'll just go. It was a fun little video we made, and we might make a vlog because we're going out to a bookstore, and we might just do a lot of bullshit there. Read, and I made her read a few books, and we might solve a murder or try to solve a murder today through a book.
So many things to
So
do.
many things to do, not enough time, but we'll try to do things. Okay, but anyway, bye guys.